One of the most commonly asked questions I get asked by students and people starting the trade, what tools should I buy? Well, the simple answer is all of them. However, you are starting out and you can't afford to be buying all of them. As you can see behind me, I've got electronics set up here in my garage. If I need to repair or maintain something electronics, usually, rather than transport all this garbage to site, it's easier for me to bring it back here. But that's not always the case and not always possible. And sometimes I have to drag these tools out on site with me in a load of boxes. Now, I have various tool sets and things for different jobs. Looking behind me, that I can see over there is my main set of toolboxes that I'll cart around in the van if I'm doing some work. They are like the go-to boxes for doing a day's work, proper contracting. For many years, I have had a go box, which I carry around in the van all the time, and I've got a little go bag full of my testers. So to introduce you to the tools that are 20-year sparky, industrial, domestic, commercial, fault finding, call outs and all that might carry around with on a daily basis to get you out of the shit, I'm going to take you through the contents of my go bag and my tote box, which never leave my side when I'm working. So they're my go bags straight off the van. One of them is tools and one of them is testing. And these are the ones that go everywhere, man. So give me a second and we'll get these tied up, because I know for a fact that that part cutter doesn't live in there permanently. That's just been put in there. So let me sort them out and we'll go through what lives in here normally. So I've emptied out my tote box that I keep this all in. They're good because they haven't got a lid. It's not a bag. It's hard wearing, and you can just reach in and grab stuff and throw it back in, because often you're under time constraints. And this is just the cheapest tote that Stanley do. I ain't got any association with any tool brand in particular, but I do like the Stanley ones. So just for information here, some of the stuff that I took out that was in the toolbox when I got it out. Some crimpers, which obviously are special tools that I might go into on another video. Isopropyl alcohol, we get through loads of that. Tape measures, don't generally keep them in a go box because I'm not fitting stuff. A scraper, some taps and a plumbing tool. I took all that out and a big old pile of shit. So this is a disclaimer here. You haven't got to buy everything I've got here. You haven't got to acquire everything the same. Don't copy me. Develop your own style and your own toolbox that's useful for what you do. However, bear in mind, if you are going to get yourself involved in buying tools, it might be worth considering doing something a little bit cheaper. Like heroin, divorce, landing on the moon, gambling, being a alcoholic, cocaine. The problem is that once you get locked into a serious tool collection, not that we need it for all the jobs, the tendency is to push it as hard as you can. So you can see all the tools I've got laid out here in this shot, pan across them. Let's get them moved out of the way and bring them in one at a time and tell you why these specific tools are in my box that I use every day. So first of all, I've got 3 sets of snippy, pliers type things I use. One thing I don't use is I don't use pliers. Yeah, loads of electricians swear by them. I don't keep them in my toolkit. I've never liked them. I don't like them as a tool. I don't use them at all. I have a set in a bigger box for the occasional things I bend, but this is my go box. So in my go box, keep a bog standard normal set of Nipex snips, not small, not big, just a medium one in the chrome range. I don't know. I don't have any particular care about this bag. These are just ones that were cheap enough that I like the look of. So yeah, they live in there. I always carry a set of needle nose. Again, nothing too big, nothing too small. I think they were part of a set with these that came with a set of pliers. The pliers are in the bin, but yeah, essential are normal snips that reflect into your camera. A decent set of needle nose, again, not too long, not too short. These are everyday use, and I don't have any toolbox that doesn't have these in. In fact, there's some over here on my bench as well. These are round-ended snips, and these are great for snipping and trimming cables. I don't use cable strippers. I just strip with these. Obviously, round cables match round snips, and that's why I use these. These are the cheapest ones you can buy off eBay from China, and I buy them in about 20s, and I lubricate them and clean them up myself when they get here, and as soon as they're knackered, I throw them in the bin. But I swear by these. Every single one of my tool sets has got a set of these in. They're just a personal preference. So yeah, they're the 3 that are in my bag. Next up, screwdrivers. I like these ones particularly myself. These are both Wearer. I think to buy the uninsulated set, which are the green ones, and the insulated set together costs about 30 quid. Remember, don't go crazy on screwdrivers. These are consumables. They don't last very long. When I was on my tools full-time sparking, a set of these probably lasts me, I don't know, 2 months to 6 months, if that. A posi drive, I can go through one of them in a couple of weeks. Yeah, because as soon as the tip starts to wear, if I zoom in on that, it won't focus because it's an iPhone, but as soon as there it goes, as soon as it starts to wear, they go in the bin. You can buy this PZ2 in this range on its own, and I do replace it on its own. Insulated screwdrivers, I don't get through them quite as often because insulated screwdrivers are for insulated screwdriver jobs. So I keep those for the electrical jobs. Not necessarily live work, but sockets and anything that may become live. Also, you'll always find in my set, this one is it. Yeah, look at the end of that. That's a basher. That's basically a chisel. So yeah, I buy the wearer uninsulated and the wearer insulated. These ones tend to last about 2 to 6 months because they get a battering, and the insulated ones tend to last a bit longer because I only use them on electrical things, brass screws and that, because if you start using a not good tip on a brass screw, you'll destroy the screw straight away. So they're my preference ones. But yeah, these are my favourites. One of the things I like about the wearers is they've got hexagonal shafts. If you look from above, look, it looks round, but it's not. The grips are actually hexagonal. Yeah, I don't like round ones, and I don't like ones that are square. I like them to be symmetrical because they just give me a good feel. So just be aware of that when you're buying screwdrivers, and they are my preference. These are called grips. These are my absolute favourites. These Nipex ones, they're called Cobras. This particular size is my go-to size, and I used a pair of these for years. These are probably a set of my original ones as well. These are the newer ones, yeah. I've used a pair of these forever because my old boss used to use them. The good thing about these is whether they are set to the smallest thing, see my finger, or the biggest thing, they won't trap your finger when they snap closed on you. They're also just absolutely brilliant. I only recognise these grips. I don't, as far as I'm concerned, no other grips exist. In the last 10 years, I got into buying a set of the smaller ones as well. I've got a few pairs of them, but I only keep one in my go box. And in my big toolkit, I've got the big, daft, monstrous pair. So yeah, for me, if it's not a Nipex Cobra, it's not a set of grips, but these are absolutely essential tools for me. These pretty much replace pliers for me. And you just got to get a set. They're just absolutely essential. Here's a few little Sundry bits I keep in there, yeah. I keep them in a couple of old coffee tins. I keep some tape, yeah, because tape, I'm a sparker. I keep some Waggos, because Waggos, of course, yeah. I keep a torch. I got this one for Christmas, actually, off the in-laws. I won't, well, I will. It's flat, but it's super bright. And I also keep the lead for charging that up in the tin, so it don't get battered when it goes rattling around. And obviously, a pen, a couple of pencils, a Sharpie, and some chalk, just for marking stuff out and writing notes in my notebook, which also lives in here as well. A few more of the old favourites. I keep a set of Allen keys in here. These ones aren't particularly my favourite style. I like the rainbow ones nowadays, but they don't go very big, which is ideal for a day-to-day set of things you're going to use. So I keep them in there. I also have a little IKEA hammer, because if you're an electrician, you're using a bigger hammer than this, you're either a house basher knocking walls out, or you're shite. A paintbrush lives in every single one of my toolkits for dusting things off and cleaning things. I don't have a toolbox without a paintbrush in at all. A Stanley knife. I love these ones. These are called the Dolphin. They stopped making them for years, but they've started making them again now. The blade is not retractable. It's totally fixed, yeah. It's quite rigid, although this one's getting a bit battered now. I like my blade to always be out, so I know it's out. I like to keep it securely in this scabbard so I don't slash my own hand open. And this one just is perfect ergonomically. Again, this is a carry-on from my old boss, Tony. 20 years ago, he had one of these in a scabbard like this. And since I've seen him using one, and he was a quality spark, that's all I've ever used since. And I'm just not interested in any other Stanley knife whatsoever, to be honest. Little Sundry bits, a locking off device. This fits the most common breakers you can get, and a padlock and label for it. And this fits a lot of the Telemechanique GV2s that I work with. So just a little bit of stuff to get me going. Need anything more advanced to get the other tools out. And a set of panel keys. Yeah, my favourites are these two, the triangle and the whatever that one's called. I don't keep one of them stupid all singing, all dancing, all round ones, because this shit get lost and they cost a lot of money. These things come free with panels, and the amount of times I lose these, I ain't buying them. So I just use the free panel ones in those flavours. This bit is quite optional if you are a house basher, because if you bash houses or do like commercial shop fits, you might not need any of this stuff, but for me it is essential. I keep an 8mm, a 10mm, a 13mm, two 17s and a 19mm spanner in my toolbox, because that is 22, 70, no, that fits a bolt, 10mm, 12mm, 8mm, 10mm, 6mm, I don't know, but they're the favourite flavours I want, yeah? An 8, a 10, a 13, a 17, another 17, because people who use 17mm stuff will know why you've got two, and a 19. that gets me most of the things I want to do. If I need to have any more, I've got a full set of spanners in my van. Yeah, as well as that, I carry this socket set, which consists of a ratchet, an extension bar, a 19, a 17, a 10, you need about 8 of them, and a 13. Because these items here, excluding these socket adapters, which are just keeping there for using on a drill, these items here, yeah, those 4 sockets, that extension bar and that ratchet are the most used items out of a socket set. Feel free to go and buy a socket set. I own a couple, but I assure you, carrying these items around will get you out of the shit 9 times out of 10. Carrying a massive socket set round will just result in you dropping the socket set, getting really annoyed about it, and crying all the way home while you try and find the 12mm socket you've lost under a big piece of machinery and you can't get out. So yeah, carry these round. All these are different acquired manufacturers and bits off Amazon, and I don't cry if I lose one because it's not part of a set. I just go and buy another one. And that is one of the top bit of tips I can give to anyone who needs to use nuts and bolts, is just acquire crap, no brand, off Amazon, reasonably good quality bits like this, because when you use one out of a set, it makes you angry. And this way, you don't have to get angry, which is great. And finally this, which is revealing my real name. Yeah, this is a backhoe socket set. I recommend everyone gets one of these because they're just brilliant. This little socket set, 9 times out of 10, solves all my problems. Now, in here, you'll see there's some other bits. So I chuck in a drill bit adapter for screw bits. I've also added in some of my own screw bits because the ones that are in here aren't as extensive as I'd like. For a start, there's no flat bits. So in here, you'll see, whoop, come back, I've added some flat bits, some extension bits. These are all out of necessity. These are what I find I need. I've also added a socket adapter which fits these sockets. Yep, it's got a little ratchet, a little extension bar, your favourite flavoured bits as well as these. And I've got about 3 of these. I've got one in every toolbox I own. Never leaves the box. And every time I buy a new one, I go to the last one and copy these bits I've got in it. But obviously, you season it with these bits to your taste. So they all lob in there like that, and they go in that. And if you're really old and you've been in the trade a long time, you'll find that people like that have the contents of this in an old tobacco tin, which is the ultimate cool stroke for being an electrician. And that's it. It all sits in there all nice and neat like this. All the normal go-to tools are on this side, and all the threaded stuff is on that side. Snips and grips in the ends, screwdriver standing up, yeah. It lasts like that for about an hour before it looks like it did at the start of the video, if everything hanging out of it. So yeah, that's my go-to toolbox, what I use on a daily basis. I'm not going to do a testing bag in this video because it's already too long. So I'm going to do that as a separate video next week, and I'll probably start talking about some more about my bigger toolboxes and what's in them. But yeah, this is my go box. I suggest when you're starting out, you start to acquire some of the basic things in here, and they're all available off Amazon, I think. Yeah, don't go struggling.